Let's take a break. Coffee break, that is. Wala ng cafecito.
Welcome to another coffee break where we're able to learn, discuss, and discover various topics. I'm glad that you're able to join me on your coffee break. So grab yourself a hot cup of coffee, have a seat, and let's get right into it. Today's topic is 4 ways leaders approach tasks, right? So there are 4 definite ways that leaders approach tasks, but there's always a motivation behind them, right? And the motivation behind it is in 2 tiers. We approach things because others have a desire for us to complete those tasks, or you have a desire for completing those tasks. And on the second tier, we also look at how we approach it, right? And we approach it with either a positive attitude or a negative attitude. So we'll be breaking these down into those subcategories as well. And again, these are 4 ways leaders approach tasks and the motivation behind it. And hopefully in understanding this, that you're able to prioritize your work in a better way so that you can become more effective in the work that you do. In approaching tasks in a positive way, let's look at 2. And these are things that you will do and things that you're going to get to, right? In creating our list of objectives, you will always have things that you will do because these are based off of others' desire for you to get them done, right? Your boss, your supervisor, the grant, whatever deliverables were set, those are the things that you will do. And your attitude is positive because that's what you're getting paid to do, right? And then you have on your list is your things that you will get to, right? And your usually get to list is part of your to-do list. And that's usually because that's your desire to do things and your attitude is positive. So that's, your motivation behind it is a positive one because it's based off of things that you want to do. So again, you have the motivation behind it could be because others want you to do it, or because you want to do it, and because you're doing it from the perspective of a positive attitude versus a negative attitude. So now let's go to the other side of the coin, which is doing things from a negative attitude. And these are the things that we have to do. Right? And others desire for you to do them because they're part, again, of those deliverables. And sometimes we have a negative attitude because those are the things that we don't want to do because they're more time consuming and they're very structured in how they need to be done, right? So these are the things that you have to do to fulfill your obligations to the grant, to fulfill your obligations to the plan, right? And then we also have the must-dos, right? Again, based off of your to-do list, right? So in having the have-tos, you figure out and determine that there's things that you must do in order to get the job done. And this, again, the must-dos are, okay, this is what I must do, but that's based off of your desire to get the task done. But your attitude, your approach can be negative, if all that makes sense. Right? So in the 4 ways that leaders approach tasks are, again, whether it's based off of your desire to do things, others' desires for you to do things, and how you approach them with a positive attitude and a negative attitude. And the things that you will do and things that you will get to are both approached with a positive attitude. However, the will do's are based off others' desires, and the get tos are based off your desires. And then, of course, we have the have-tos and the must-dos. And those are, again, the have-tos are based on others' desires, and the must-dos are based on your desires, but they are approached with most likely a negative attitude. So I hope you have a picture in your head. I know that's quite a bit on how we, how leaders approach tasks. But so I want you to think about this. So think about this. Tell yourself, or if there's someone in the room with you, discuss the difference between each of the 4 approaches. So think about each of the 4 approaches and think about the differences between each. Okay, so now I want you to think about a personal example of a must-do, a personal example of a have-to, a personal example of a will-do, and a personal example of a get-to. And of course, this is based off of the work that you do. So over the course of the past year, 3 of these 4 approaches fail. Why? Think about that. Things that you will do, get to, have to, and must do. 3 of these 4 approaches failed. Why? And, I think for the most part, you might have identified the one that you didn't get to, right? So the ones that failed would be the will do, because it's others' desires, right? And your attitude was positive, but it was others' desires for you to do these things, but you had no interest in doing them. They have to, because it was others' desires of you doing things, but you approached it with a negative attitude, so it didn't get done. The things that you must do, although it was your desire of doing these things, but your attitude was negative because you didn't have the time to do it, or for whatever reason. So you're left with all the things that you will someday get to. And everything that was in those other areas is now dumped into the I will get to it, right? Because it's your desire to get the job done because you want to prove it to yourself, but your attitude is positive about it. So how can you develop a get to approach to leadership tasks? Very complicated process in a short amount of time. A very short amount of time for a very complicated process. 4 ways leadership approaches tasks and your motivations behind it. Things that you will do, things that you will get to, things that you have to, things that you must do. And we either do them because others have a desire for us to do them, or it's our own desire to do them. And in how we approach it is either in a positive attitude or a negative attitude. If all that made sense. So that's it for today's coffee break. Make sure that you like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and share this video. Get back to work or whatever it is that you were doing, and we'll see you at your next coffee break. Should you want a workshop on this topic, feel free to get at me. Lates.